part more than the sitting in the head office and building strategies and having meetings and stuff like that?
Well, I think both are very important. I think
Oh,
for
which one did you enjoy the most?
I would say that um, if the question is, do you enjoy strategy or do you enjoy execution?
Not
Uh,
execution, meeting with the, going at the ground level and seeing the actual final
yeah,
what happens.
that to me is like a surrogate of execution, which is right people doing the right things the right way is execution. And I would say I value execution infinitely more than strategy because strategy is an intellectual pursuit.
Mm.
You can line up 5 companies, peer companies, they'll all have very similar strategies. Engage customers, inspire employees, they all want the same outcome. But the company that wins is a company where the employees want to win more than anybody else. And they have this fire in their heart that they want to really go above and beyond what they're capable of. And that can happen only if you light that fire, not intellectually, but in their hearts. So strategy is intellect, execution is heart. And heart is about connection, about inspiration, about feeling valued, about knowing what the higher purpose is, and then basically being committed to give it everything that you have every single day to be successful. So my bias is towards creating an organization where I have the right people doing the right things the right way. And if I can do that, I think the enterprise is bound to be successful.
You don't find that when you go to the store, there's resentment by the, let's say, the ops head saying that, hey, you're going there and my authority is being undermined, or, they, did you get any
No, I
flack?
think because my intent is not to do their job and catch people,
So
doing things.
you were always only being
I want to inspire,
challenged.
connect. And of course, when I observe things or I hear things that are not being sorted out or that need to be, sorted out, of course, I take that back. And I think people recognize that as being valuable. I'm sure that sometimes they resent it. But that's just part of the job. You have to hold people accountable to be supporting our teams so that they can in turn look after our customers.
I find it very hard because I don't know how you all had the courage to be who you all were. Aisha mostly. Uh, I the thing that really I wonder about the time that Aisha was critical. In fact, quite much of her life, right? Especially towards the last 2 3 years.
Yeah,
How
not
did
not for
you
the first 13, but last 5 years.
during that period? How were you able to manage both work and this?
Well,
Must have been damn hard, no?
yeah, I mean, yeah,
I mean, why would you even want to go to work?
so I had, the like I believe that um, we all do things for 2 reasons. One is um, the pull of what attracts us, and the push of what we want to get away from. Both those things are, applicable. So let me explain. So when I lost my first daughter, Tanya, and um, I didn't have money to take care of her medical needs, and I felt like an absolute failure. I felt inadequate um, and very desperate as a parent who did not have money to take care of his child. When I had Aisha and she needed the same transplant, again, I didn't have money. I had to go and raise money in a foreign country. Um, and again, I once again experienced the desperation of a grieving father who had no access, no support, no money to save his children. And therefore, the push and the pain I wanted to get away from was to be financially independent. So I would never again be in a position where I'm not able to look after my family. So that was a big driver. I wanted to never experience that pain again. And the pull, of course, was um, my desire to really unlock my full potential, to compete at the global level, um, to be successful, because I knew that that pull was also connected to what I was trying to get away from. That if I was successful in the corporate world, I would be financially independent and I would not have to worry about looking after my family. So therefore, I had this determination that I have to do well. I don't have the luxury of sitting in a corner in a dark room and crying, you know. Um, I did not have the luxury to do that. My wife was 24/7 looking after my child. I would come home and I would see her declining every day for 5 years before she passed away. But I had to be focused at work. So I did a few things that I developed as a process, which might be interesting for the listeners in terms of how to be resilient when you're dealing with, terminally ill children or other difficulties. So I would actually leave my home in the morning, sit in the car, open up a box in my mind, open the lid, put all my troubles inside the box, shut the lid, and then drive out, reach the building, get into my lift. Lift door would open, and I would say, "Showtime." And I would pull my shoulders back, spring in my step, and I would smile and I would embrace my family at work, because I felt that they have not done anything wrong for not to get my very best, and I would do that every single day. And then if I was in a meeting and your thought comes fleeting by and you start worrying about your child, almost as in a meditative sense, you have to keep deflecting those thoughts and keep staying focused on the conversation that's happening in front of you. And I think I developed that ability to really be able to, have incredible focus on what was at hand and not get distracted by all the noise and the worries that I had. So I would say those two things are micro habits that enabled me to be more present in the moment and do what I needed to do to keep contributing, keep learning, keep having an impact, and keep progressing so that I would be successful, be financially independent, and would never have to worry about looking after my family.
That time you were already financially independent.
I was not.
No?
No.
When you were that time you were running KFC India.
Yeah, but I had to raise 150,000 pounds for my daughter. I mean, where do you have that kind of money? I had probably $2,000 in my bank account. I had just started my life. When my first daughter died, I was 24 years old.
Oh, later on, when you were in Delhi.
Yeah, I was not, I had maybe $2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, no money. I had only enough money to buy a ticket, one-way ticket, go to London, and then try and raise the money that I did.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
You mentioned when you left home, you put everything in a box. When you reach home back, would you release
When
the
I
box?
when I reached home back, then I would, do the night shift. I would take over from my wife. My wife would be exhausted. I would come and sit with Aisha and, be with her for a few hours and then go and sleep late at night. So my wife and I would then take turns.
Breathe.
Huh?
When did you breathe?
I grieved a lot when she died.
For not breathing.
Well, that time one still, I think as human beings, we always live in hope. Till the last dying day, you feel some miracle will happen. And when that miracle doesn't happen, and when your things are finally finished, and in my case, my daughters had died, and there was the irreversibility of death, no coming back, that's when it hits you. Because then you realize that that's it. There's no coming back from this. And that's when I absolutely got wiped out. I was gone for about 2 years. I was in a really, really dark hole because I hadn't grieved all along. And it really hit me very hard.
When those 2 years you were still working.
Yeah. I was working, but I was like carrying this load on my back all the time.
You were still effective.
I was not effective.
You're not effective.
No. But my company was, very kind,
supportive.
very kind to me. And I don't know if I would have been that generous that my company was, because I was like, I was like a walking zombie, for about 2 years.